All right. Well, here we are with our dear friends for another interview. This is Gus and Melissa Padal. They are working for Christ in Spain. Gus is the head of the seminary there and is working with the local body to teach and to train men for the gospel in Spain. And as you know, we've been watching the news, guys, and we've seen so much about what's been happening in Spain. And so we know it's been a challenging season for you guys there. Thanks for taking your time to interview with us. I know it's evening there, so just quickly want to ask a couple of questions, just what's been happening, and then how have you seen your faith tested? And then the third component is just, where have you seen blessings during this season? So sort of what's been happening, testing of faith, and then where you see blessings.
Well, basically, we've been on lockdown, a complete lockdown for the last 7 weeks. And this last week, for the first time, our boys were able to go outside. We can leave our homes only to go to the store, to go to the doctor or the pharmacy, but you're not allowed to leave at all. So we've been at home, confined, and the boys have been confined as well. Not going to school. Obviously, we haven't met for church, and we haven't done anything but be home this last time. Obviously, you can imagine that's been very challenging because we go from, I'm the dean of students at the seminary and working very closely with our president and our academic dean, and really busy with the seminary. And also I'm the associate pastor of the church, so I'm really busy with the church. I preach every week, and Melissa's involved with the ladies, and we're constantly involved, having people over to our home constantly. And then all of a sudden, all of that got taken away from us. Basically, it seemed like one day we're planning to have people over on Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. And that same day, that confinement order came down, and we had an emergency elders meeting, and we canceled everything. And really, we haven't been able to see people face to face for the last almost 2 months. So it was really challenging. But then at the same time, what was really sweet for us was, as we started talking to people, as we started calling them, as we started meeting through Zoom and having virtual services, people are so encouraged and so excited to go back to church. We're breaking records. Our Zoom calls, people that come to our calls, some of them we haven't met before, people that just are from our city and they want to be a part of that. Melissa and she's been emailing the link for the service to different friends of ours who are unbelievers, and they've been watching. So it's been such a great time to be able to continue ministry remotely. I got to teach seminary. Melissa got to teach to the ladies, recording a message, an hour and 15 minutes, right? It was like as long as the service, just teaching through First Peter. And it's been such a blessing to continue our ministry together as a family in confinements, and then seeing the people's attitude, which has been so encouraging to see their hearts be encouraged, though they don't know. I was talking to, really quickly, one of our seminary students who is a pastor, and he told me that everyone at his church has lost their job. 80 adults without jobs now. And you think about that and you're like, and I said, well, how are they doing? And he said, well, they're encouraged. They're resting in God's sovereignty. And really it puts us to shame to think that here are 80 brothers and sisters who lost their jobs, and then at the same time they're resting in the Lord.
Wow, praise the Lord, man. That's super encouraging. Wow, man, I can't even imagine. We've been able to go out and run, do different things, but I can't imagine 6 weeks, 7 weeks just in full lockdown.
No, we don't. We live in an apartment, so we have our boys were sitting out where the dryer is to open the window and get some vitamin D, and we went outside, they literally stepped outside for the first time 6 weeks. So, but they didn't complain about it. It was like we kind of got used to it, and it wasn't so bad.
No.
Like the first few weeks, it was a little surreal. Like you just felt like the rug had been pulled out underneath you. Like everything just immediately got canceled. And I felt this is not our home country. So there's a little bit of added vulnerability. Even though Spain is like first world, our medical care is very good, we're still foreigners. And so it was like even more vulnerable, even more surreal. But then like it's like, okay, I know God is in control, so now it's time to actually put this into practice. And I read, I think it was like 2 weeks in, this article by this Presbyterian minister who had survived the Great Spanish Flu pandemic of 1918. And he post-pandemic wrote an article about all of the things that he had learned after the pandemic. And it was amazing because it was like almost every single thing was exactly what we were going through. Like the power that the government has over your lives for the first time, the things that they're taking away, and then just the blessing that you now appreciate the church in a way that you never did before. And you know that God is using this to further his kingdom, because even though like economically speaking or politically speaking or all these other areas, like we're going to be worse off, God is going to use this for his good, and his plan is not thwarted, even though it seems like everything else is falling apart. And that was like, reading that was like so comforting to know that we're not the only ones having gone through this. We're not alone in this, because God just like pushed pause. Like everybody's on lockdown everywhere, and it's just a weird thing. So
that's super encouraging. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for sharing your hearts. And I know it's challenging, but what a blessing to get to hear from you both. And I know that that's a huge encouragement to the church family. We love you guys. We're praying for you. We miss you. We're sad we can't do the summer team this year, but we know that the Lord is in control. And so we're just trusting him with that. But we will hopefully see you guys soon, and we'll be praying for you, and keep us in the loop as things start to unwind over there, and let us know how things are going. All right?
Thank you so much.
thank you.
All right. Appreciate you guys.